Yeah, what's up, everybody? Your boy JC. Everyday Thoughts is in the building. Everybody gather around. Should be a good one tonight. Tonight's topic is the pressure men and women have without kids.
Hey,
Hey, what's going on?
nothing much. Can you see me? You can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay.
All right. So introduce yourself there, everybody.
You said introduce myself?
Yeah.
Okay. Introduce myself like how? Like I'm Shalissa, everybody. What else what you want me to tell them? My
I mean,
age,
no,
my
I mean,
stats.
no, just give me your name. That's all.
Okay, Shalissa.
Okay. So, I made a post. I think 2 months ago about men and women without children. I remember you had commented
Hmm.
on it, and
Yeah.
you have a big opinion about as far as what you go through, and I can tell you what I go through as a man, and I'd like to know your perspective, what you go through, what other women go through as women without kids.
Right. So you asked me, did you ask me the question already?
Yeah, I'm asking the question. Or like,
Okay,
what's the
so
pressure that women without kids? What do you guys face? And I'll tell my side what I feel like men feel like when men go through without kids. What's your thought process?
so it's not well, okay, so as far as the pressure part goes, I think the pressure part comes in when people always ask you, you know, when are you going to have kids, or why don't you always have kids? I mean, or why don't you have kids? I think that's the pressure part because you feel like your biological clock is ticking. Like I'm 32 with no kids. So you get up a certain age and you get in a stable relationship, you start wanting to have kids and have a family. Those are the things that you look forward to. So when you have certain issues going on, whether it's financial, um, health issues, like anything as to why you don't have children, the pressure comes when people start questioning you about that. Even your friends, they might make jokes about it or something like that, or they have kids, they want you to have kids so that their kids can have playmates and stuff like that. You get hit from your family, so that's where the pressure comes in at. It's just when you hit a certain age, it's like it's expected of you to have kids. And if you don't, what's wrong? You know what I'm saying? It's like it's an automatic something's wrong.
Yeah, I mean, I do agree with you on that standpoint. There is like a time frame for our women to have children. Men, we can reproduce from 50 or 60 years old. So, there is a cutoff time. But, the pressure for men without children is basically finding, a good woman to, plant a seed into, make sure she's a good nurturer, make sure she's a good mother, she's a good role model,
Mhm.
good teacher.
Mhm.
So, I mean, that's one thing a lot of men without children have to deal with. I want this one to be either my wife or someone significant to build and raise a family with. I don't want to be, you know, name her or you my baby mama or you're just like a woman who I know attachment with, but we have a child together, but we're co-parenting just because of the child. But
Mhm.
other than that, I don't love you. I don't have no kind of compassion for you. But we're only into the situation because we have a child together, and it might have been from a
Right.
one night stand or maybe just being a meet and greet. So it's just it all depends on both genders or whatever your mindset is, because not everybody wants kids, not everybody can have kids. But I do commend step parents or stepfathers, stepmothers that do take the role of parents, especially the ones that can't have children to raise children. So what's your take on that?
You said for the step parents?
Yeah, step parents. I do commend them for stepping in to uh, looking over the youth.
Right. Like I've never so I have dated guys in the past that have kids or that have had kids or whatever. I never looked at myself as like a step parent. My boyfriend now has a son, but I never looked at it like that only because I'm not married. So I've never been married. But for me, it's a good feeling to be able to be a part of like other lives, kids lives and things like that in relationships, especially when you don't have kids, because for me, somebody who wants kids, like that's a precursor to a blended family, the idea of a blended family and how you interact with kids and stuff like that. So I enjoy it, you know what I'm saying? Like I enjoy it. I don't know, like I've never been through it like long term, so I can't speak on like certain boundaries and things like that. Like I don't overstep my boundaries. I allow, the parent to be the parent or whatever, but it's like an additional family to me. Like, so I don't look at it as a negative thing or anything like that, but um I don't know. I don't know. It's kind of hard because like I said, I've never considered myself a step parent or anything, so I really don't know a whole lot about, that world.
Yeah, but I mean, I do feel like, you're dating one with children. I mean, I feel like you have to be either you're all in or you're all out. Not a lot of men are really willing to be role models. There are some out there, but I feel like your attention has to be pure. You have to love the child. I do feel like it is a package deal. And like
Mm,
I said, one thing I know is when you do get involved with someone that do have kids, a lot of times you get attached to the kids because you guys, may have, good memories together. You might have, picked them up from school or have, barbecues. So you really, grown so accustomed to the child, and sometimes it may not work out with the mother, and you lose that attachment to the child. So, there are some pros and
right.
cons of dating, women with kids, and as opposed to dating women without kids. Probably, I think a lot of guys they rather the women to have grown kids or 18, 19, able to be self-sufficient than as opposed to
Right.
smaller kids. So I mean, it could be a lot different for women, as I've been told. You know.
I don't I don't know. I never really cared about stuff like that. Like I do know females that say like they will only date a man with like older kids and only one baby mama and stuff like that, but I don't know. I never really cared about stuff like that. I mean, for me, it was even more of wanting to date somebody who had kids just because I don't have kids. You know what I'm saying? So if for whatever reason down the line I didn't have a child, like I would want somebody who has kids who could experience that already. But I never really like put stipulations on dating like that. Oh, it got to have this or they got to have that as far as kids go. Like to me, as long as the child's mother is respectful, that's like the main thing I care about. The respectful as far as boundaries go. Um, you know, the man isn't like involved with her in any kind of way other than taking care of the kid. Like those are the things that I like. And I've seen it where guys have bashed their baby mamas. Like I don't tolerate that. You know what I'm saying? She needs to be respectful to you. You need to be respectful to her because at the end of the day, you have a child. And to me, it kind of goes back to people who sleep around and just produce with people that they don't want kids with. I'm like, if you're going to be involved in something like that, you got to be careful with who you choose to have kids with. So don't bash her to me. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not going to feed into that because at the end of the day, you chose to sleep with her. So, you know, that's the way I feel about that.
Yeah, I mean, also too. I mean, like I said, you don't want any kind of drama with baby mama too. Or any kind of baby father too. I mean, a lot of times, a lot of brothers think they would prefer the man to be in jail or locked up or nowhere near side the child just because the kind of conflict. Especially you see guys like Russell Wilson stepping up, being a stepfather or being, father to a little future child. You do see a lot of guys hateful, resentful towards that father. So, you always got to be
Mhm.
cautious anytime you're dealing with, someone with a child. You gotta, like I said, you gotta embrace it like it is your own, and you be there for it, and you don't want any kind of conflict. That's one thing about me. I'm a drama-free man, so I don't tolerate any kind of BS, any kind of nonsense. It's really a no-go for me.
Right, right.
But yeah, also too. like I said, you dating with no kids. I mean, like I said, guys, one thing we're worried about too is just longevity too. You also want to be in sync with baby mama, or you want to, so a lot of guys still look for their wife. I want this is my wife one time. I don't want to, get with you, have a child, and a month or a year or two later we're divorced and you split, and you know, like I said, you just gotta be cautious of whoever you sleep with, and actually it's another person, try to see that person be worthy of, carrying your child, carrying your seed. That's why a lot of guys gotta be more cautious of whoever they sleep with, and
Right.
protect your sperm, protect your legacy. Don't put all the responsibility on the woman. Make sure you wrap up. Make sure you take precautions of a child being born. And if a child is being born, man up, take care of the child, and do what you got to do to take care and manifest your child without any kind of excuses. Because you chose that woman
Right.
to be there for the child. You may not be okay with the woman, but you do want to get a mutual understanding where y'all can both co-parent and raise the child together, so the child doesn't suffer. You know.
Right.
But
Right.
yeah, what's your take on that, though?
Say it again.
No, I was saying, what's your take on that as far as they're trying to co-parent as far as the ones that do have children, or just being more cautious of whoever you sleep around with.
Yeah, I like I said, I'm just big on respect all the way around. I've been in situations where um I seen somebody trying to co-parent and it just didn't work because there was no respect between him and the mother. So like I would witness the child like being torn. You know what I'm saying? Like being torn between, who do I side with? Do I side with my mom? Do I side with my dad? And that's a tough position for a child to be in, and I think it's unfair. And it's unfair because the parents don't know how to just be adults, about the situation. So, you know, in my opinion, co-parenting is very important. At the end of the day, two people laid down, chose to make a baby. You got to deal with it. You know what I'm saying? Like you just got to deal with it. So put your pride to the side and just be able to handle things like adults. And that's something that I looked at getting into a relationship, with somebody who already has kids. That's my main thing. Like, how are you with the child and how are you with the child's mother? How well do you guys co-parent? Is there issues there? Because those are going to be red flags to me for somebody who still wants to have kids. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm paying attention to all of that. So, you know, it's
But
tough
yeah,
out here.
yeah. I mean, I think, like I said, I feel like it's not tough for women, because, like I said, you guys do have that biological clock. And like I said, if you choose wrong, then it's like, well, you chose wrong, or you chose this type of dude, or he has step up to the plate. I feel like a lot of times the blame will be put on the woman. You know what I mean? So
Mhm.
it's like it's gonna be really real choosy. My thing is because the woman, you're gonna be the one getting pregnant. You're gonna be the one carrying around the baby. You're going in and out of the hospital. So I always put a little bit more responsibility on the woman more than the man, just because of you're the woman, you're the child's first teacher.
Right.
Without the daddy, you still have to do necessary stuff to maintain the child. So that's why I feel like women more we gotta be more cautious than men. Just because of that fact too.
hmm So, do you think men choose women with kids more so than not? You know,
I think a lot of times, whatever your soul connected to, a lot of times you just deal with a woman that's kids just because she may look good or maybe attracted to her, or a lot of times you can't really find really a decent one without kids.
hmm
So it all depends on the individual.
Gotcha. So, do you think guys choose like based on, oh, she only got two or
Oh
three or
yeah, I
one?
mean, like I said, I mean that does play a difference. I mean, you talk about a woman that has 5 kids as opposed to having one or none. It's a big difference as far as what a man's looking for. Especially if he only wants his own family, he wants to, be the leader of his own, what's it called? His own culture, his own, what's
Mhm.
it called? Like
I
his
know what
own
you
progeny, then you
right.
having children would be a turn off. Especially he's looking to have his own children. He doesn't really feel like raising someone else's child. He rather has his, his own wife, his own child mother to deal with, not dealing with someone else's, and then maybe dealing with conflict like we, explained earlier in the video.
Yeah, I kind of feel like guys don't care as much. I feel like they don't. Not, I'm not gonna say maybe not care, but I just feel like guys aren't as choosy like that from my experience. Like, for me, when I was dating, it was like, oh my God, like you don't have kids, like that's rare for your age. So it was like it's normal to them. It's normal for them to just date women who have kids. So it just don't seem like they're as, choosy or picky about stuff like that than women are, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's kind of rare. When you was dating, people were like, well, you need to find a woman without kids. Oh, you don't have any kids, like it's a shocker. I'm like, nah, I don't have any
Mhm.
kids. I'm good. I'd rather wait till I'm married, but I can't really do as far as what the Lord tells me.
Mhm.
He wants me to be married. He doesn't want me married. Whatever happens, I know I'm responsible for it. I'm responsible for taking care of my own progeny that I help produce. You know, so
Mhm.
that's what I'm wants is they're going to be the ones carrying your legacy 20, 30 years behind once you leave this earth. So you got to be cautious of whoever you put your seed into. So
Right.
that's all. Like I said, I mean, I do commend as far as the fathers that's out there working. May have two, three, baby moms, but they're still going out there, still maintaining the situation, still trying to go out there and visit, still checking up on them, making sure they're doing the homework, making sure they're maintaining focus around the household. So I do commend those, and
Mhm.
you know, our thing is too, as long as they're disciplined, as long as they're disciplined, then I don't think it
Mhm.
should be an issue. You sure gotta
Right.
have y'all both have a good understanding though. That's all.
Do you think there is a disconnect sometimes with guys who have kids with women that they don't like and they can't get along? Do you think that, like, I guess kids that are born out of love, that aren't born in love, like they're conceived, it was a mistake. Maybe he want her to have an abortion, she don't have an abortion, and it's like he's forced to now love, this being that he created. Do you think that that kind of puts pressure, like a lot of pressure on him to where he's not as connected to the child? Do you think that's possible?
Yeah, I mean, I do feel like, especially, I don't feel like he's in love with the woman. I don't think he's gonna be really in tune with the child, as far as what the child needs and wants, and being that type of father to protect, to provide mentally, emotionally support. You know, that's what I'm saying. You got to be more cautious. Because you want to be a situation where you have a father. You're talking about he's no good. He don't want to take out. He don't want to be accountable. He don't want to, help me out. And it's like, did you really get a chance to sit down and get to know that person? I understand people can change, but at the end of the
Right.
day, I mean, anybody that I've dated or been with, they can be like, what if I would have, had a child with this man, he would be responsible regardless if we're in together, relationship or not. He's gonna be there for his children regardless, and that's what you want to hear, even if
Mhm.
you don't succeed in that relationship. You always want to have those feedbacks like, hey, this is a good father, this is a good man. He's gonna do what he gotta do. He's gonna work. He's not gonna be, out in the club partying. He's gonna be so focused on his child, regardless of whoever he has a child with. He's always gonna be focused and make sure that's his first priority over anything else.
So you think that speaks to the character of the man, not the situation?
What you mean?
So like, because I'm wondering if I've seen it where there was a man who there was a lot of strain on the relationship between him and his son because he hated the son's mom, and the way that the child was conceived, it was like, on some drunk, oh, we met at the
Yeah.
club. You know what I'm saying? So my thing is, do you do you think that it's possible for a man's relationship to be strained where he may love the child because it's his seed, but he may not. It's not an ideal situation for him, so he's kind of like is disconnected. Like you can tell when somebody's disconnected from their child. I've seen it. So like you can tell. But do you think that it's not that and it just speaks to the character, like that's just his character, that he's just no good or something?
I mean, like I said, I feel like you don't really love your child's mother or wife, or then more than likely you're going to mistreat your child or not give your child
Hmm.
what it needs. And also too, when you have women out here, sometimes they'll be like, well, they may look like the daddy, and they may talk, downplay to the child. Your daddy, he ain't about nothing. Like, trying to degrade the man. He may be, a good father, but she's not really appreciative of him. And
Hmm.
so she make it hard for him to, get custody or see him. So, like I said, it works both ways. But like I said, just men have to, just be more cautious. Same thing with women too. You know.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know, man. Kids are a big deal. It's a big deal. So, it's not something to be taken lightly. So, you know, I don't to me the pressure of all of that is just something that I'm used to by now. I think people should have more etiquette when they address people who don't have kids though. I don't think people think of it like that. Like they just think of it as, oh, when you gonna and they don't really think of it like that, but um I know women that have certain health issues who can't, have children or it's difficult for them. Pregnancies are difficult. So it's a lot of things that I don't even think, a lot of people know about, that some of the struggles that some women go through. So I think the education. Oh, can you see me?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I can see.
So yeah, I was just gonna say I just think the education needs to be out there so people are more aware, how they make some of us feel when they say, make certain comments and stuff about it.
Oh yeah, like I said, I mean, in closing, like I said, it's gonna be tough for the ones without children. Those are the ones that do want to be found. They don't want to just have a child just to say they have a child, but they want to be loved. They want to be, cherished. Men and women.
Yeah,
So it's tough. It's tough, but I feel like whether you believe in God or not, believe in whoever you believe in, that it's gonna come together and everything's gonna be work itself out. Don't just force yourself in a situation just to have a child, and now you have regrets. Like, damn, I should have waited. But like I
right.
said, it's a damn if you do, damn if you don't. You sit there and you wait, and it's like, damn, I missed out having a child. Then you have a child with someone not really, your soulmate or just someone you feel like is compatible with you. It's like, damn, I really want to deal with raising my child in this type of environment. So it's like, damn if you do, damn if you don't. So that's why you really have to get to know people and beyond just the surface level. So,
I agree. I
but yeah,
agree.
though. But yeah, with that being said, thank you for tuning in or joining me tonight. Appreciate the
No
conversation.
problem. You're welcome. Thank you.
All right, until next time, you have a blessed one.
All right, you too.
All right, bye. To me, and I love to debate, discuss anything. So until next time, everybody have a blessed and safe night. Make sure you check me out on YouTube. And until next time, have a blessed one. I'm out. Peace.